Well, 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 what do you know? Looks like most of the Eagles were back at practice yesterday despite all the crazy injury concerns and looking pretty sharp in those Kelly green helmets. Jalen and Tua, they tried to kind of downplay the whole Alabama Bowl. Safety Kevin Byard has entered the Eagles trade potential chat, and Julio Jones, he looks interesting in Kelly green. We got practice footage for you today. I'm Thomas Mott. This is the Thomas Mott Show. Quick fun fact to start today's show. The last time the Eagles wore Kelly green and hosted the Miami Dolphins, any guesses? It was 30 years ago. How about week 11 of the 1993 season? Doug Peterson was the quarterback of the Miami Dolphins. Ken O'Brien was filling in for the injured Randall Cunningham, who of course was done for the season. And the Dolphins won 1914 with Don Shula, the Dolphins head coach, officially becoming the winningest head coach in NFL history. Pretty crazy it's been 30 years since we've actually worn the Kelly Greens against the Miami Dolphins. Thumbs up for what potentially could be the best uniform matchup between the Dolphins and the Eagles in the entire NFL this year. Now, instead of Doug Peterson and Ken O'Brien as your two starting quarterbacks, it's the Alabama quarterbacks, the ones with all the controversy those many years ago in the national championship game, Jalen Hurts versus Tua Tagovailoa. And clearly the media was trying to kind of stir up a little bit of a, storm for the Bama Bowl quarterback, Hurts versus Tua. Well, in classic Tua and Hurts fashion, they downplayed this thing big time. Listen to Tua.
I got a lot of respect for Jalen. He's been a great competitor since I've got there to Alabama. He's been a special player since I've been there, and he's been a special player throughout his entire college career. So I know it'll be a good game, and I don't think of it as a Super Bowl preview or anything like that. I just think that this is another team that we're preparing for, and in order for us to get to where we want to go to, we got to play this team.
All good things to say. I mean, it's classic Tua and really classic Jalen, as we'll see here in just one second. But Tua is so generous at the podium. He's so kind, never going to take any shots. It's going to be fun to see them do the whole dap up pregame. But after that, they're going to go about their business to try and win this football game. Now, their former Alabama coach, he weighed in as well. Nick Saban, I think he has better things to do, but he said, I've never seen two players that were really, really good players at their same position that actually supported each other. I think that comes from mutual respect and both guys being good team guys. Of course, we all remember Hurts struggling in the national championship game, Tua coming in at halftime, throwing the game-winning touchdown to DeVonta Smith, and then Hurts staying at Bama the next year, still supporting Tua, and of course coming in and beating Georgia in that really crazy SEC championship game. Since then, they kind of have gone their separate ways, with Jalen, of course, going to Oklahoma, Tua staying in Alabama, Tua being a Dolphin, Hurts being an Eagle, but now they get to look across the field in what's going to be at least a surreal moment for both of them. I would assume that they're both starting quarterbacks of really good 5-1 teams. Of course, Jalen was asked about this at his press conference the other day because he was the one bench for Tua, and Jalen did exactly what you'd expect Jalen to do. He completely ignored the question, he moved on as quickly as possible, and did not show any facial expression.
It's been great to see the things he's been able to do over his career, and hopefully hoping for continued success.
Yeah, I'd say he doesn't really care about the whole Tua situation. He wants to win, get to 6-1, maybe get some of the media off of his back after that really poor performance against the Jets. Now, according to BetMGM, Philadelphia remains at 2.5-point favorites right now at home, meaning it's probably going to be a pretty close game according to Vegas. I'll take a couple of bets here, though, with the BetMGM account. How about Tua over 3.5 rushing yards? That's it. He doesn't run a lot, but 3.5 is one scramble. Give me Waddle over 60.5 receiving yards, just because I think Tyreek Hill is going to be a big focus for Sean Desai. And Jalen Hurts, he's not going to have back-to-back bad weeks. Over 1.5 passing touchdowns. You can take that to the bank and use my promo code down below if you guys want to get some additional deposit bonuses with BetMGM and help out the channel as well. Now, we have a lot of great news from the Eagles practice yesterday. A lot of injury updates coming in just one second. First, though, how about the Eagles working out another cornerback in Kindle Vildor? Do you know who that is? I didn't. I have no idea who this guy is. I had to look it up. Well, according to different people on Twitter, he's a versatile cornerback that the Bears drafted in the 5th round of the 2020 NFL Draft. Of course, when Sean Desai was in Chicago, he played 822 defensive snaps in 2021, also when Desai was with the Bears, but he wasn't that great in coverage according to the numbers. Basically, someone who understands the Desai scheme and could come in and be another body in what's a very injured and banged up secondary. I know, it's not the sign or the trade that you guys want in terms of the secondary. More on that later on, so stay tuned to the end of today's video. But it'd be a depth piece, and I think at least shows that Howie Roseman and the Eagles are continuing to hunt for warm bodies who can play in the secondary because the injuries just keep piling up. Now, speaking of the secondary, Thursday's injury report showcases why they worked out another cornerback, because Bradley Roby, he missed another practice with, of course, that shoulder injury, and so did Reed Blankenship with the rib injury, and honestly, it's safe to say they're probably not going to play on Sunday. Now, technically, they haven't been ruled out, and so technically, maybe a couple of, shots of painkillers, and Reed Blankenship wears a flak jacket, and he could try and go, but my guess is he probably will not go on Sunday, meaning Sidney Brown gets his official chance, which we'll probably find out officially on Sunday afternoon. And side note, how about the Kelly green helmets officially being worn on Eagle players for really the first time in actual practice situations? Can't wait to see this dual combination with both the Kelly green jerseys and the helmets during the actual game. But the practice jerseys in midnight green, they look a little strange, but still, the Kelly green helmets look so fantastic. Thumbs up for that, and thumbs up for the Eagles social media team giving us the content that we wanted with these jerseys. Also, the jersey matchup for Sunday night, the Dolphins, what they're gonna wear, the Eagles, this is gonna be the best jersey combination that you're gonna see all year long. Now back to the actual stuff on hand, and that is Darius Slay. Look at him stretching here. If you're wondering if he was gonna play on Sunday, I think him moving around in this individual drill as well is a very good indicator. Yes, he's still limited, but he's gonna be out there. It's safe to say the Eagles will get back their number one corner when they take on the Cheetah. Likewise, Lane Johnson, can you tell me which ankle he injured based off of this video? No, you can't. He's fine. He's 100% going to play. We predicted this a couple of days ago following the Brian Baldinger report saying that he already worked out and was going to go ahead and play. And even Derek Gunn mentioned on his show yesterday that Lane texted him and said, it's not a big deal. It's way, way better than people thought. Thumbs up for the right tackle being back and not having to watch Jack Driscoll get obliterated by the Dolphins pass rushers. Now, fresh off all those conspiracy theories on why Julio Jones was signed because DeVonta Smith's hamstring was going to keep him out for weeks and weeks, well, that's kind of gone because here's DeVonta Smith working out yesterday in a limited capacity at practice. Yes, the hamstring's still bothering him, but he looks absolutely fine. I guess the tinfoil hatters were a little bit wrong about this one. Surprise, surprise. He will play even though he was limited. He told reporters in his post-game locker room scrum that he wouldn't miss the Kelly green jersey game for anything in the world and that he will be suited up on Sunday. Finally, Jalen Carter missed last week's game. He was back out, again, limited at practice. You see a giant knee brace, though, or a giant lower leg brace here. Keep an eye on this. I don't know if this is just a practice brace that he's going to keep on for the rest of the week and then take off for Sunday's game. Will he wear it for Sunday's game? I'm not sure, but at least you get the potential defensive rookie of the year back out there against a Tua, offensive line that when they get pressure on Tua, we talked about it yesterday, the Dolphins struggle and Carter's a big, big factor in the Eagles winning this one on Sunday night. Now you're probably wondering, Thomas, can we have some Julio Jones video footage? Well, yes, you can. Thanks for asking. Here's Julio Jones in the Kelly green helmet, and how big is he next to AJ? Goodness gracious. AJ's massive, by the way. He's one of the more physical, big body receivers in the NFL. Julio is like a whole head taller. Boy, you can see why they signed this guy. If he could just stay healthy, it's a big if. But he looks really, really good out there. He was running routes, doing individual drills, catching the football, chopping it up with his new teammates. They haven't officially elevated him. They won't tell us until Sunday who they elevate from the practice squad. But you have 3 practice squad elevations before you got to actually sign the guy and take him up a roster spot. You got 3 weeks to test him out. Why not get him started this week? I hope to see Julio Jones out there, and I think he might be more of a factor than people realize. So the Dolphins are relatively healthy, but their one big injury to keep an eye on is their number 2 cornerback behind Jalen Ramsey, and that is the cornerback Xavier Howard, who's been elevated because Ramsey has missed the entire year so far. He had a groin injury suffered in that win against the Panthers. He hadn't practiced at all this week until yesterday when they kind of let him run around out there. This practice footage you're seeing right now to kind of test it. And they don't know if he's going to play or not. A lot of people on Dolphins Twitter and a lot of Dolphin reporters are saying they might hold him out because a groin is kind of like a hamstring where you don't want to make it worse. And it's only week 7, not like it's week 15 and you're battling for the number 1 seed in the AFC. But safe to say we don't know the situation if Xavier Howard is going to play or not. If he doesn't, then it'll be rookie second-round cornerback Cam Smith one-on-one all night with Julio, A.J. Brown, and DeVonta Smith. I like the Eagles' chances there. I mentioned it earlier, Philadelphia is still sniffing around that secondary market, and Pro Football Focus has given you a mock trade showcasing what it would look like if the Eagles went for the not often mentioned Kevin Byard. A lot of Eagle people talk about Justin Simmons, Budda Baker, rightfully so, but Byard is maybe the cheapest option who still gives you some star potential back there. PFF says it would cost a 2025 third-round draft pick, mainly due to the fact the Eagles don't have a 2024 third-round draft pick, and they would definitely not give up a second-round draft pick for him, but a third in 2025 could be a fourth or a fifth in 2023, so you get the price here. But PFF says that his salary was reduced to $4 million before the season, which makes him significantly easier to trade at the trade deadline. He's expressed desires to remain in Tennessee, but if you want to go get a ring, Kevin, come on over to Philadelphia. Byard is the oldest of the Justin Simmons, Budda Baker superstar tandem, but as we just mentioned, he's a lot cheaper, right? You gotta remember that Byard's pay cut was very different from Budda Baker getting more incentives and more money, and Justin Simmons still has $14.4 million in his 2023 salary left. So if you wanted to do it on a budget, Byard, even though he's on the wrong side of 30, could make a little bit more sense. I'm kind of tired of all the speculation, but as I keep mentioning, you're going to get a lot of speculation for the next couple of weeks until we get to a little bit closer to the trade deadline. We got to get within a couple of days before things could actually heat up. Side note, if the Eagles lose on Sunday, hopefully they don't, if they were to lose and get torched in the secondary, Tua throws for 450 plus, Tyreek for $150, then it could speed up the process maybe, but with the bye week coming for Philadelphia, they don't really need to rush something in there because they can still just establish a trade at the trade deadline, let that person kind of figure things out, and then get them ready to go for that vaunted matchup post-bye starting up against the Chiefs. Now, I head to Philadelphia with my fiance tomorrow afternoon. We would love some cheesesteak recommendations and breakfast recommendations for Sunday morning. Give me those down below in the comment section. I've done Pat's, I've done Gino's, I've done John's roasted pork. Give me something new with a good atmosphere as well where we can sit down. The fiance's never had a cheesesteak because she's never been to Philadelphia. It's her first time going, so I'm excited to showcase that. She's a big sandwich fan. I think she's going to love this one. If you guys enjoyed the game, I'm not going to be able to broadcast it because I will be there, but if you're at the game, hit me up on social media. It'd be fun to say hi. Myself and Josh Davis really enjoyed going to the link. Last time we were there with the NFC title game. Can't wait for this one. Go Birds! I'm Thomas Mott. This has been the Thomas Mott Show.